All right, let's jump right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to pull back the curtain and really get into the high-stakes, behind-the-scenes reality of wedding media. Look, if you're currently planning your wedding, you have probably spent literally hours scrolling through gorgeous photos and those cinematic highlight films. They are amazing, but what actually goes into making them? Today, we are going to break down exactly why capturing your day properly means moving away from that traditional solo vendor mindset and actually embracing a full production team.
To really get this, we kind of have to change how we look at the whole thing. For decades, the wedding industry has basically conditioned us to think that wedding photography and videography is just a really long photo shoot. But honestly, that's a complete myth. A wedding is a live, once-in-a-lifetime production with absolutely zero margin for error. Just think about how a real movie is made. You've got directors, multiple camera angles, audio technicians, and if an actor flubs a line, they just yell cut and do it again. You definitely do not have that luxury on your wedding day. If a moment is missed, it's just gone. Forever.
Which brings up a really good question. What happens to the stuff you don't see? When you hire a single photographer or a single videographer, they constantly have to make choices. They're almost always focused entirely on you, the couple. And hey, rightly so. But what about the subtle, quiet smile from your grandma watching from the third row? What about the tear rolling down your dad's cheek right before he walks you down the aisle? The hard truth about a standard solo shooter is that those deeply emotional secondary moments are often lost forever. Why? Because one person literally cannot look in two directions at once.
Just picture a typical wedding timeline. Let's say it's exactly 2 p.m. You might have bride prep happening in one suite, groom prep going on all the way down the hall, and the venue details being finalized down in the main ballroom. Especially in really fast-paced, high-energy wedding environments like Atlanta or the Bay Area, these simultaneous moments are just a reality. It is physically impossible for one human being to capture all of that at the same time. If you don't have parallel coverage, you are inherently compromising the story of your day before it even officially kicks off. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference in risk. The traditional solo shooter setup kind of gives you an illusion of coverage, but really, it's a massive single point of failure. If that one person is busy changing a battery or swapping a lens, or even just blocked by Uncle Bob stepping into the aisle with his iPhone, that moment is gone. But when you upgrade to a true production reality, you're bringing in a team with redundant systems and multi-angle storytelling. You are completely eliminating those single points of failure.
Beyond the creative magic, there's the technical reality. Couples almost always forget about the technical safety nets you need to make a day run smoothly. A production team is constantly doing this invisible, real-time problem solving. Timeline gets delayed, the team splits up to cover more ground faster. The sun suddenly ducks behind the clouds, lighting adjustments happen instantly. Behind the scenes, the team is communicating via earpieces, coordinating with your wedding planner and the DJ so everyone is perfectly aligned before a major moment even happens. And most importantly, they are managing redundant data backups on site in real time. The team handles all of this invisibly, without ever interrupting your coverage or stressing you out.
Which leads us to a pretty sobering number: 0. That is the exact number of second chances you get on your wedding day. If a memory card corrupts, or if a crucial angle is missed, there is absolutely no take two. When you hire a solo vendor, your priceless memories often exist on a single piece of plastic inside one camera until the very end of the night. A team approaches this with a strict production-first mindset, literally backing up your footage throughout the day so your legacy is protected from the very second it's captured.
But let's talk about the art of it for a second. Wide, tight, reaction. This is what we call creative depth. When you have a dedicated team, your story is told with real cinematic layers. You get a sweeping, environmental wide shot showing the majesty of your venue. At the exact same time, you get an intimate tight shot of your hands holding. And simultaneously, you're capturing the emotional reactions of your guests. All of this is happening at the exact same millisecond. That is how you craft a true film, not just a glorified home video.
And that perfectly sets up the difference in the final product: documentation versus storytelling. Documentation is basically just recording what happened. A solo shooter captures these disjointed moments chronologically. But storytelling, which absolutely requires multiple perspectives and intentional editing, is about preserving how it felt. A cohesive team takes all of those synchronized, beautiful angles and weaves them into an emotional, cinematic narrative that lets you genuinely relive the day for the rest of your life.
So, what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, let me introduce you to how MYXD Media operates. Based in Atlanta, Georgia, and shooting heavily out in California and the Bay Area, MYXD Media operates explicitly as a production team. For their signature photo and video package, they don't just send 1 or 2 people, they send a unified 5-person creative team. We're talking lead and second photographers, lead and second videographers, and a dedicated production assistant. This setup guarantees parallel workflows, total coverage, and a standard of excellence that they've actually inherited from high-performance environments like Apple.
I really want to single out the production assistant here. You might be thinking, do I really need a fifth person? Yes, absolutely. And here's why. The production assistant is the ultimate risk management tool. They're the ones handling the real-time data backups, swapping the lenses, monitoring the audio levels, and dialing in the lighting. Because they take all that operational weight off the creative shooters, your photographers and videographers stay 100% focused on you. They aren't frantically digging through a bag for a spare battery while you're having your first look. That is what separates MYXD Media's high-level workflow from traditional solo vendors who just constantly get distracted by their own gear. Because at the end of the day, the true return on your investment isn't just the photo gallery or the highlight film, it's your actual experience on the day itself. Feel the day, don't perform for it. When you have a coordinated team managing the timeline, backing up the data, anticipating every single angle, you get to just breathe. You don't feel rushed, you don't feel stressed. You get this incredibly relaxed, guided client experience where you can actually be fully present in your own celebration.
So, bringing it all together, it really comes down to the core message of this explainer. One person captures moments. A team captures a story. When you hire a production team, you aren't just paying for extra bodies in the room. You aren't just paying for more gigabytes of footage. You are investing in the preservation of your legacy. You're making sure that decades from now, you won't just see what your wedding looked like, you will remember exactly how it felt.
If this explainer helped you figure out exactly what to look for and you realize that your once-in-a-lifetime day really does deserve a true production-level approach, I'd highly encourage you to take the next step. Just head over to MYXDmedia.com, schedule a quick consultation, and request a custom quote. Connect with their team to explore how they can build a customized production right around your unique story. Because your wedding is only going to happen once. When the flowers have wilted and the cake is long gone, what story is your legacy going to tell?